Okay, great.
Okay, so I am just going to briefly introduce myself. My name is Adobe Odwini. I am the community manager for One Health, and I am here with my wonderful guest speaker, Ahmad, and he will definitely introduce himself. So I'm just going to give a brief intro on this webinar and what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so the whole idea behind this whole topic was that we noticed that a lot of companies they usually find out that they are struggling to attract and retain top talent. They're constantly losing employees to either their competitors and or maybe just sometimes they leave for different reasons. And they actually notice that their bottom line is starting to suffer because of that. So now imagine if they now take the initiative to start implementing data-driven HR strategies. They could start collecting data from, their current employees, including their skills, experience, and satisfaction levels. They even collect data from their hiring and retention practices. So once they've collected all of this data, they actually use it to identify trends and patterns, and they can actually learn how whether their employees are satisfied when they have opportunities, to learn and grow. They also get to learn more about who's likely to stay with the company if they feel valued or respected. So, with all of this knowledge, all of this data, the company can actually make informed decisions and then definitely use some of those decisions to change their HR practices. And they'll offer more trainings and development opportunities. So they can actually create a supportive and inclusive work environment. So because of the result of all these changes, the company will actually start to see a positive difference because they're able to attract and retain top talent and the bottom line starts to improve. So that tiny little anecdote is just a powerful demonstration of how data-driven HR strategies can help companies to achieve success. So, like I said, my name is Adobe Otway, and I am the community manager of One Health. Even though this webinar is brought by OneWellness, which is a subsidiary of One Health, so we're going to be talking about these data-driven HR strategies, or more like the guest speaker Ahmad is going to be talking about this. So, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. So, over to you, Ahmad.
Okay, great. Thank you for your great introductory. And this is Ahmad Zendedehdell, and I'm joining today's meeting from Iran. And I'm really happy to be your guest speaker in this today's webinar. So I just wanted to start our meeting from a quote from a great man in the management field, Peter Drucker, as he said, what you cannot measure, you cannot manage. This is just a great indicator of the importance of data, and that's whenever you want to manage, whenever to make decisions about a topic, you need to have data, you need to collect data, and you need to analyze data so that you can actually manage that field, that topic in a way that you get the result you want. And the topics we are going to cover today in today's meeting, there is going to be introductory about myself and about uh, the topic we are going to cover today. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the people analytics and ROI, what is ROI, and how people analytics is related to the ROI. And then we go to see a real data, a real data set from a HR activity, and we will work with the data a little bit to see how we can drive insight from the pure and raw data. And then we go to see what are the common considerations in working with data, what we should pay attention when we want to analyze data. And after that, we can raise a case and to solve the case together to see whether we are able to apply the analytic views that we have talked about during the meeting on that case. And at the final, and finally, we are going to have a Q&A session for about 15 to 10 minutes so that we can answer the questions as well. Uh, it would be great if you have any questions or any comments during the webinar. Just leave in, put your comments in the chat box so that we can read those comments. Actually, since I'm presenting the uh, this presentation. I am not able to see the comments, so that I will need Adobe to help me with those comments and questions. And
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, great. And then if you want to participate in a during the webinar, kindly raise your hand and wait for me to just to get back to you, and then we can discuss about the topic you want to talk about. And if you have questions, you are highly recommended to leave your questions for the end of the webinar so that we can discuss them during the Q&A part. Okay, so I want to see a little, I want to have a little information about the field you are working in and in the industry that your company is working in. I would be happy to know what is the size of your company. Is it like less than 15 people, between 15 to 100, more than 200? I would be happy to see how many people are in your company. Just feel free to drop comments in the chat box.
Okay. All right. So please just kindly drop how many you have, how many personnel you have in your company. So it could
Yeah.
be between maybe like 1 to 10, or maybe like 1 to 5, with startups, or maybe if it's a large scale organization, you could just, drop like a rough estimate, please. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm starting myself, right now I work in a company that we are more than 500 people here. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Adobe? How many people are there in
Okay,
One Health?
so at One Health, we have between let's just say like a rough estimate of up to 50 people. Up to, yes.
Great.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
the reason that we are talking about this question is because uh, the company size is really critical uh, criteria, in dealing with data, because the bigger companies, the more data you're dealing with, the more number of people, and it's like getting bigger and bigger in an exponential way. And in small companies, as I experienced working in a small company like 10 or 15 people, uh, there wasn't that much high number of data. It wasn't that much complex, but the more you go up and the more people that you hire and you have in your company, it's become more and more complicated, and you can also have more insights from applying data analytics in your HR activities. Okay, so I guess the industry that my company is working in and operating in is quite competitive. It's working in an international market, and because it's facing in international markets, the the amount of the competitors is high. They are working uh, hard to gain market share, and it's quite competitive environment. But some other companies maybe face less competitive environment, but uh, they uh, they might face challenges in other aspect of uh, their company environment. So how about your company, Adobe? How competitive is the market of the pharmaceutical and health industry?
very high. Well, I can just say that from my own perspective, when it comes to, because we're not just like a pharmacy, we're basically like an all-round healthcare providing. Sorry, just let me just admit some people. All right. Yeah, so when it comes to healthcare, we cover
Okay.
all aspects by a healthcare tech company. So we do more than just the pharmacy. We have our micro insurance, which I'm going to talk about later. And we also have like some
Mhm.
other projects that we have coming up. But we are a healthcare solution providing company. We are a healthcare tech company. So it's a very, very competitive industry because you have people who are either offering the same service as we are, or we have people who maybe they are thinking of getting into the industry and then they try to emulate what another company is offering. I know definitely we can relate to that, One Health. So yes, so it's really competitive. It's very competitive.
Great, yeah. Well, these couple of questions, it gives you hints and about how important is that your HR department in this environment apply the data-driven approaches. When if your company is big, there's a lot of number of people working in the company in different fields, and also if the company is working in a high competitive environment, so you need to be able to make better decisions, and we need to take this fact in our minds that if you're working in these environments, we need to take people analytics and data-driven decision making more seriously. So about myself, I'm Ahmad, like I said before, and I've got a master's degree in industrial engineering, and I've been working in the HR field for more than 3 years. I have over experience of working 5 years, and which most of it was and is in the HR field. And I'm mostly passionate about achieving business goals through empowering people. That's the reason why I changed my working environment from the industrial engineering to the HR field so that I be able to drive business values through helping people to do what they are best in. So we have talked a little bit about the importance of people analytics, and Adobe actually gave a great introduction about people analytics and the usage of it in today's business world. And so if you want to just wrap it up in one short sentence, using data in the HR field, or as we are talking about it, people analytics, is to improve the critical talent and business outcome. Actually, it's not a separate field from HR. The human resource field is here. The human resource segment is here to help business drive better values through using better talents and empowering talents to uh, provide more values in business. So people analytics is here to help HR to go after that mission better and more efficient. And so, like I said, the big picture here is to help organizations to achieve their business goals. So, like in other business functions, like marketing, like strategy, like finance, where all of them are using data to make better decisions, to enhance their efficiency, to increase their productivity. The HR people, the HR leaders can also use data to achieve those goals. So we have talked about people analytics a little bit, and now we want to see what is ROI. ROI actually stands for return on investment, or return on cost in ratio between net income. The whole idea is whenever we want to make an investment, whenever we want to pay for something that is going to gain us value, a future value, we want to see how much this value is. For example, if I have two options about like investing in HR activity and also investing in marketing activity, how much this uh, investment in those two scenarios would benefit the company in the future. For example, if I invest in that HR plan in that HR initiatives, it may help me to increase my revenue by 5%. And maybe if I want to invest at that marketing initiative, it helped me to increase my revenue in 6%. You can see that the ROI, this methodology can help me to actually compare different project, different investment options, and I can turn them all in the financial statements so that it can be easier for the senior managers to compare those or others' plans and initiatives. So why ROI is important? And the reason that why ROI is important is that we are facing limited financial budget. CEOs and other senior managers are always facing different options to invest their money in. So when we are having this complexity, having these challenges, we need to uh, assign our budgets. We need to address our budgets in more productive ways, in a ways that at the end of the day creates more value for the business. And in the today's business environment, companies and managers are being under pressure to gain values in the short terms. After coronavirus, after the war that is happening between Russia and Ukraine, and there are multiple criteria that affecting the business environment in every country, so that people need to gain more business result in short terms, and that's puts more pressures on people, on the ones who want to introduce their program to receive financial investment, to come up with better solutions, to come up with more productive solutions. So these are and other reasons are the ones that uh, increase the importance of the ROI. As other functions that I've been doing in recent years, HR people also need to have this ability to drive connection, to draw connection between the initiatives we are doing in HR and the business KPIs. For example, if I want to raise the budget for I don't know, well-being activities in my company, I need to show how this increase in the well-being budget will benefit companies in the future. Maybe we can show that by increasing the budget we are dedicating to the well-being activities, people will leave the company later, people will stay, they will be happier, they will be more productive, and this will eventually lead to create a certain number of revenue in the future. So this is the mindset is really important, that we all have the mindset in the HR field. Uh, Here in the HR, we have multiple data resources, and we are facing with multiple, numerous number of data. And we have this recruitment data, for example, how many people apply for the certain job, from which channels we are receiving how many CVs, and how it's like. How it takes time, how many days it takes time for us to close a position, to recruit for a certain position. And also we have demographic data and employee data, like the age, the university degree, the college degree of the people, their gender, their I don't know, the location they are living. We have this data. We have the CNB data, compensation and benefit data, how much certain people are receiving salary, and what are other benefits they're receiving. We have the L&D activities, like how many hours a certain team was spending for a training sessions, how satisfied are they with their trainings, and other source of data as well, like performance management and exit interviews. So now let's go to see a real data set, to see how we can use data to
Okay.
drive values. Yeah,
Okay.
let
So,
me just share.
Ahmad, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so when it comes to using all of that data, right, to come up to make informed decisions, is there really like a specific HR personnel that can handle things like that? Or because people usually think that the human resources just has to do with recruitment. So do you need like the services or the help of like let's say a analysis, or is it an L&D, like a learning and development personnel? So like who is like what are the skills required to analyze things like that? Because I know a lot of HR personnel, they actually do take data analytic courses. So for
Yeah.
analyzing those kinds of data, is there like a specific HR personnel that can handle things like that?
Well, actually, um, despite other functions of the business that they're working with big amount of data, like real big data, in like marketing, in finance, I don't know, in customer service. In HR, we are not facing those number of data. We are not working with a huge data sets, and to gain insights and drive business value in the field of HR, I believe that we can use Excel, as a primary tool to work with data, to visual the trends, to find patterns, and maybe for really big companies, the ones that have thousands of people that are working with them, and the ones that are collecting the data about the people in those scenarios. Uh, there might be the need for using more advanced and technical tools for analyzing those data. But at the beginning, and also for the companies that they are, I believe, for I don't know, less than 1,000 people, Excel really serves great values for people. Let me just share my screen too. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can actually. I can.
Okay, great, great. So as you can see, there is a data set here, and the number of participants was 154, and we have conducted a job satisfaction survey, in a company that I was working before. This is the data from that company, and you can see that 154 people completed this satisfaction survey, and we are facing, quite a bit big data set. Here we are just seeing that what a certain people answer for like the section one, question seven question. Um, this is not really helpful. We are just seeing a scattered view of data. But with a little bit calculation, we can turn the data into more meaningful uh, sets. We can now see how many people for the first question of the first section answered, for example, they're not satisfied with the result. They're satisfied, or they are uh, not nor satisfied, not dissatisfied. So now we have a better vision, and at another level, we can create a dashboard. That's at this point, we can now work with the data. We can just by filtering the data, we can see in a team file for the certain sections what are the results, what people answered here, and this working with data is really now giving us information and giving us knowledge. We can work with data. Let's see, for example, uh, in the team two, for the section one, we have the number of 74 people working in the team two. There are female, and there are in the first location. So, and then here we can see they are having different supervisors. We can see that for the supervisor number two, what was the result, you know? So the number of the people who are not satisfied with the supervisor two is quite a bit a lot. So now with, putting the raw data into the dashboard, we can now gain values, gain insights. And this is not that much complicated process, you know. We don't need to use difficult and technical tools, to use difficult formulas. You know, we can just, by even visualizing the data, we can get so many information about what's going on. For example, in the team two, the people who are working there from 2 to 3 years, you know, they are just half of them are happy and satisfied with the supervisor, and half of them are not satisfied. You know, this is what we are talking about, that we can gain insight and gain values from data. And even in bigger companies, even with bigger number of data, we won't need to use that complicated and sophisticated tools like coding in Pythons or other uh, softwares, other technical softwares, because there is a lot of room to do, you know, in the HR field, and it's mainly you need to have a good sense of the business, and you need to be able to ask great questions, good questions, so you can frame the data and see whether those questions, those hypotheses are true or not. And then you need to have the good knowledge of using Excel. You know, in this scenario, it's like how to turn the raw data into interactive dashboard. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Great. So let's get back to the presentation.
Hey, Ahmad, can you just kindly put your presentation in present mode or slideshow mode, so that way people can see it a bit clearer? Is that better? Is that okay by you?
Let me see from where I, I need to do so.
Or you can just start presenting. Yes, okay. That's fine. All right.
Okay, is it okay?
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So we see what we see there was like an pyramid, a path of how to use data to gain more information and more insights about what's happening in that, I don't know, in that business, in that team. So first we saw the raw data. You know, there was some question and some answers to those questions. Then we put the data, we gathered the data, and we did some basic calculations, and then we have the information about what's happening. For example, in the question one, how many people were satisfied with that question, with that statement, how many people were dissatisfied, how many people were neutral. And then by putting those information together with, by creating an interactive dashboard, then we were going to driving knowledge from the data. You know, we have this sense, we have this insight that team those supervisor people were not satisfied with him or her, and this is a new information. This is actual knowledge, and then maybe we can put other data together. For example, the exit interview, the people who have left that team, and we put those data from those interviews together with this job satisfaction data, and it gives us more bigger and more vivid picture about what's happening in that team. And by doing so, we are going to gain wisdom about what's happening in the business, what's happening that in that team, and how we can solve those problems. So, when we are using data, when we want to both collect data and then interpret data, there are a couple of consideration we need to take into consideration, because it's not just that simple. We are we are talking about people, and people are complicated by nature. And when we are using data to understand people, to predict the future behavior, and it's become more critical to be aware of common pitfalls in using data. So a very important consideration is be aware of the biases that data tools may have. For example, we designed a survey, and we uh, send a link to the people so that they can answer those questions. And in some specific locations, people are not having the uh, good internet connection to get online and answer those questions. And maybe by just going online and collecting online data, we miss some information about some people, and then this maybe led us to conclude that, okay, the number of participants in the specific area is low because they didn't participate that much in the questionnaire. But but in real, the behind the reason is that they couldn't participate because they didn't get your email, or they couldn't open the link. So we must take great attention to these side effects, or to these details of collecting data and using tools to interpret data. Also, when we are working with data, we need to look for trends and patterns. We need to see if a hypothesis is supported by different data sets or not. For example, in the scenario that we were, going through in that Excel file, we saw that people were not satisfied with their manager in the team too. If we conduct an exit interview from the people that had left the team too, and they were happy with the manager, so these two data are directed to different directions. So we need to uh, both try to collect more data and to see whether we are using the right data tools. Maybe the data sets are biased, the tools are biased. We need to we need to give more attention and take more time in interpreting data, especially in the scenarios that data is complex, and data and the insights are not matching together. And another thing is that we as a humans are biased, and we tend to look for the result that we want. For example, if I think, I don't know, women are not qualified to do a certain job, so I will be looking for more evidence to support my, the initial thinking, so that if I see the patterns or the trends that are directing in the opposite way, I might ignore those, signs. I might say that, okay, they are the noise, they are not the real data, they are mistaken. So we need to be aware of our personal biases, and we need to try to keep them out of our uh, interpretation process, out of our analytical process. In so many cases, we tend to just take the medium data. For example, we have the number of 100 or 1000 data, and it's scattered in different points. But when we get the median of the data, maybe there are the medium is like 100, but in the data set we also have, I don't know, the 500, and by just focusing on the median, we are missing those data, and there might be some real valuable insights in taking those out of the range data as well. So we need to be aware of the fact that looking uh, into the medium can lead us to interpret the data by mistake. And in some cases, we might forget about the causality, for example, or we misunderstand the causality. For example, we are not sure if a certain manager is driving value and leading his team to achieve more business results, or it's the effect of the team. I mean, if the team members are doing so well that now the team is doing great, So in so many cases, we cannot just draw a simple line and say that A is the cause of B, and it's more complex, and we need to have this in our mind to take this into considerations. That when we are dealing with human, when we dealing with the data that is related to human, and there might be some difficulties in this conclusion, into just drawing conclusion, because they might not easy. We cannot just easily connect the points, the dots together, and reach a fast and easy conclusion. And at the end, whenever we want to start with data, to use data-driven decision making, uh, just we need to think like starting small. If I want to start using people analytics from tomorrow in my field, in the recruitment, in L&D or other activities, uh, we don't need to just go, be okay. We need to collect so many data. Okay, we need to just wait to collect data in 2 or 3 months. Then after collecting those data, just then we can use people analytics. We can use data to make better decisions. We can start small. We can just ask people what they're thinking and collect a small sets of data. And by doing so, we can also get insights and make decisions in small steps, but it is a good start, because when we take the scenario so big, we define a big projects in data analytics and people analytics. When we haven't done anything before in the past, it might get so big that it scares us, and we stop applying those tools and those mindset in the real world problems. So by starting small, by looking for a small ways to just apply people analytics in our daily jobs, we can also be more comfortable with doing so, and we become ready for more bigger and challenging projects in the future. So now that we have talked a little bit about what is data, what is people analytics, and the considerations in uh, dealing with data, I want to invite you all to solve a case together, or to just go deeper into analyzing a case together. So imagine you're in charge of recruitment for a certain team, and the number of the team is 15 people, and it's a in a technical field. It's not like marketing or I don't know, HR. It's in a technical field, and we are dealing with highly technical people. So the manager told you that you need to go for the male candidates, because female candidates are not doing good in that field. Okay. So, how can we test this hypothesis? The question is, do um, female employees, or do female candidates are really doing poor in that field or not? So, let's see how you think, and let's see uh, how we can start crafting this case and going through the details so we can understand better this question. So feel free to raise hand or leave your comments in the chat box.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Please just kindly let us know.
Come on, guys.
Okay, so you know what I can do is I will put up a poll. Everyone can vote and just you let us know if you have like a brief understanding of people analytics. So if you have any questions, at least Ahmad can answer them. So the poll is live. Please kindly vote, please. Thank you. It will be live for just 60 seconds, so please kindly vote. Okay, so the live has and the poll has ended, and we can see here that it's quite balanced low-key in a way. We can see it's just 1 out of 5 people that actually doesn't really understand you know what people analytics is. And then while yes, it's actually on a scale of 1 to 5, and we have 2 people who actually understand or have like a neutral understanding. Maybe they're neither there nor there. And then you have just 2 people who maybe they have a little inkling to what it is. So yeah, I think that's actually a brief feedback. But please, like if you can just kindly put your questions in the chats, and you can even send it privately to me, or you can send it in the group, whichever one you're comfortable with. So we can move on. Well, I think Ahmad, if you want, you can just move on. If they have any questions, they can just drop it in the chat.
Sure. Okay, let's go back to the case. So in this scenario, if we want to see whether the line manager or the hiring manager is correct with his statement, we can use different data points and collect data to see whether it's right or wrong. Um, One way to check this is like doing a survey, conducting a survey or collecting the information from the internet that from the surveyors or from the researchers that we have been conducting in that field. And they're talking about how many people, gender wise, are working in that field. For example, if I find a report from the local institutions or from international organizations that is talking about the majority of people who are working in this field is males, but we also have I don't know 40% of the people who are working in that specific field are women. So this is the first clue that the manager might be wrong. That the evidence, the researchers are not sorry are not supporting his argument. And then we can look for other uh, data to go and digest and see what are they are telling us. And another source might be going to the recruitment. data. We can see how many people have applied for that specific job. Maybe the number of male candidates are more than female, so that we need to see if we are posting our job as in inclusive and more diverse, job ads or not, in job boards or not. Maybe we are just using specific job boards that's male candidates, use those job boards more frequently. Or maybe when we look at the data, we see that the number of the CVs we are receiving from male and women, they are almost, the number are close together. But during the recruitment process, we are seeing that the females are getting, rejected sooner, in the recruitment process. Then we can go for, see what's happening there. Maybe there is one or two people who are, in charge of talking to people, to in charge of interviewing, are biased and are, they are tend to go for male candidates, you know or maybe we can, collect data from the candidates as well. We can run candidate surveys, and at the end of the process that they are out of the recruitment funnel, we send them a pool to ask how was their experience, in that recruitment funnel, and we see what they are saying, what the data shows us. So by doing these investigations, going for both external data sets, going for reports that are in, I don't know, local organizations, the government that release some data, some researches, and you can use those, to see whether this is the case or not. And you can use international benchmarks. For example, we know that a specific company is working great in the international market. That's also we are looking up to it. We can see whether the combination of the women and male men and women, employees are the same as the manager saying, or no, it's more diverse. People from both gender are included. And then we can collect data from our own recruitment process and from our own data sets to see whether this is the case, whether he's right about that male candidates are doing better or not, or we are biased in the process or in the recruitment funnel or in the interviewing.
Okay. So Inkesa has she sent me a question in the chat. So she asks let me just give me a few seconds. So are there some ethical considerations involved when using data-driven HR strategies?
So about the privacy and the considerations, in using the data that are related directly to the people, it's sometimes hard to draw the line between what is confidential and what is not confidential. But we need to take the fact in mind that managers and senior managers, they don't need to know the specific data about the employees. For example, if we run an we have done an satisfaction, if we have conducted a survey and people are answering the questions, how much are you satisfied with your manager, how satisfied are you with your coworkers. Uh, the data we are looking for is the general data that, for example, that a specific team is, the combination of data that the team is saying. We don't need to specifically know who is saying what, who is saying, that he's not satisfied, she is not satisfied with the manager, or are satisfied with the manager. So we are looking for finding patterns. We are looking for to see whether there's a trend in the field. For example, there has been a promotion in a specific team, and when we are looking to the people that has left the company, have left the company, we see that over the time after this promotion, the number of people who are leaving the company from that team, from that department is increasing. So this is a hint, this is an insight that, okay, something's happening here. Let's go find out more data. Let's go to collect data from other different data sources to see whether they are supporting this idea or not. If there is, there is a relationship, there is a coherence between promotion of a specific person to the number of people who are leaving the company voluntarily from that team. So in most of the cases, we don't need to know who is specifically talking and what's their opinion. But and in the HR department, because we are, we are most likely have the access to the data, it's our responsibility to keep the privacy, to keep the privacy of the data that people said about their opinions and also their personal data. For example, about the CNB data, uh, maybe people don't want other people from outside the HR department know how, what is their salary, if they ask for a loan or not, So it's our responsibility for ethical and professional responsibility to keep the data private. And if you want to show insight, if you want to show insight to find patterns, we can just get all data together and to show how what they are saying all together, not a specific in each data point.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have another question. So this is from
Great.
Blessing, and he or she asks, during recruitment, is there any relationship between the manager and the HR? That is, should the manager be involved with the recruitment process?
Yeah. Well, ideally, actually, the manager is responsible for HR activities in their teams. The manager are responsible for all the HR activities, and the HR people are here to facilitate those processes. From the promotion, from the recruitment, and all other aspects that are related to working with people. But for sure, managers, in less matured system, managers need to be involved in the recruitment process, because at the end of the day, they need to feel okay, they need to feel comfortable with the person that they have hired. uh, it cannot, it won't work that from nowhere we say, okay, this guy is going to work for you, starting from the next week. No, he need to be involved in the process, because he or she, they want to work with that new person. So they, even they can introduce you with how we can recruit people better. For example, if there's a technical manager in the technical field, they might say, oh, okay, uh, you might find more qualified candidates if you contact this institution. This institution is conducting specific trainings, and the people who are going through this training and are certified with this training are better options, better candidates, so we can recruit from those, talent pool. They also can provide us with these insights. But we need to help them to be better at, interviewing people, into screening resumes, to help them decrease the biases they might have. Like the case we said that they might be biased about a specific gender. They might be biased about, I don't know, they think that older people are doing better, and they think that the younger people are not responsible. So we can use data to see that whether this is true or not, and then help them to be better decision makers. In that case, we can have more diverse team and more professional team.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Just give me a few seconds. So I just want to, can you please stop sharing your screen? I want to just quickly share something, if that's okay by you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I just want to take a few seconds to quickly talk about One Wellness. So that's really one of the many reasons why we're here. So apart from learning about HR analytics, which is very important for any business to really experience growth, I want to talk about One Wellness. So what I want to talk about is just the excuse me, just someone. All right. So imagine having a tool or an app that is proactive, can give you affordable healthcare, and also have a very exciting and fun reward approach while you're getting healthy. With traditional healthcare systems, they usually just focus on treating illnesses rather than actually promoting proactive and healthy well-being. So this can actually lead to high healthcare costs, more employees getting more absent, and it can actually lead to poverty. In fact, even the WHO, the World Health Organization, says that each year, an average of 100 million people worldwide are being pushed into poverty due to healthcare expenses. And then employees being absent can actually cost businesses and approximately over 200 billion dollars annually. And this is from the CDC. And you also have over 50% of employees saying that healthcare benefits are a key factor in job satisfaction. So you can see that healthcare benefits is definitely on top of the list when it comes to making sure that business goes forward, because it's not just about making profits. You also have to think about the team that are also responsible for making sure that a company is successful. And that was why one of the many reasons why we came up with One Wellness. So One Wellness, what is One Wellness about? It's not just an app. It's not just an app that you can just have on your phone and to just take up space. No. So it's a health benefit platform that has been created to revolutionize the way organizations and individuals will experience healthcare. We offer a complete stack which provides dedicated care. Imagine having your own healthcare assistant in case if you have like maybe you have symptoms, you're worried about certain things, you can just use the app. You can just quickly text your healthcare partner, and they will just give you like a breakdown. They will analyze what you might be going through, and they can give you informed feedback on that. So it's not just about having a dedicated healthcare assistant. You also have comprehensive insurance benefits, and you, like I said, is a fun reward system because our solution has telemedicine. Imagine having 24/7 access to doctors for virtual check-ins and consultations. You have coverage for your emergencies and critical care. You also have access to a wide range of lab tests, x-rays, ultrasounds, medications, coverage for your prescription drugs. We also cover emergency, surgery, critical care. There's also, like I said, instant access to your doctors. You also have, just having just convenience in your phone. You can get to just have convenience in your phone, and with plans as low as 3,000 naira, which is not even up to how much you spend monthly on data. With as little as 3,000 naira, you can either pay monthly, you can pay quarterly, biannually, twice a year, or even just, yearly. And you don't really have to think about your healthcare as a company. You don't have to worry about your staff, calling off sick on work. I'm sure we have with HR personnel who are here who definitely know how many times some of their their staff, they take time off work because they want to treat one illness or the other. So it's just really just healthcare in a simple to use app that makes it easy for you to also keep track of your employees' healthcare and also let how productive they're being, because if you have a healthy workforce, you definitely will be able to see like healthy returns. So if you want to sign up for the app, or if you want to download the app, we're available on Google Play Store, we're available at the App Store. All you have to just do is just search for One Wellness. That's One and Wellness together, and you'll definitely see us there, and you can download and you can start. And if you need any help, please, you can always use any of our social media platforms, and we have people that are available to help. And I'll also be dropping the contact of Nkese. That's Nkese at onehealth.com, and you can actually sync with her, and she will definitely give you a step-by-step process on how to sign up if you have any questions. And I'll also drop her phone number as well, just in case you have any questions for her. So thank you, Ahmad. I'm just going to hand over to you now. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you for providing this opportunity for this webinar, Adobe, and I really enjoyed talking with you and presenting here, and I hope people find it informative, and yeah, thank you for participating in this meeting.
Hey, thank you very much, Ahmad. Thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly drop in Kesa's email address and her phone number. So if you have any questions whatsoever, she is available to provide any to give you your answers, and she will definitely help you every step of the way. I just want to say thank you very much, Ahmad. Thank you so much, our wonderful participants. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend.
You're very welcome. I just sorry, I just want to see if people want to have further questions and to I don't know, follow up the topics we have talked during the meetings, and they can find me in LinkedIn through this link, and also on Telegram. I would be happy to help and make new connections. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually going to share your links in the chat as well, just in case people have questions. Just give me a few seconds to get that done. And while I'm sharing that, I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time out. I know some of you are actually at work, so I'm just dropping his Telegram link in the chat, and I'm also dropping his LinkedIn profile link as well. So please let me know if you all can see it. And you can connect with him on LinkedIn. Is in the general group chat. So anyone, you guys can all connect with Ahmad. And if you have any questions, if you want to sync with him as a fellow HR personnel, he's more than available. And if, like I said, if you have any questions about OneWellness, if you also want to download the app, like I said, it's available on Google Play Store, App Store. And we also have Nkesa's contact details in the chat as well. And for those of you who have attended the webinar, thank you so much. I will be sending a link to the recording later next week. And if you're not in our email, if you're not part of our email subscriber list, please just send me your email privately in chats, and I will receive it, and I will definitely make sure that you get a link to the recording. So to not take up too much of your time, thank you so much to everyone for joining. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And thank you so much to Ahmad. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule to do this. It was really a pleasure having you co-host.
Thank you. Pleasure was mine. Thank you. Yeah. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.